Pokemon Sun and Moon came out in 2016 and these games sucked dog. After I played Pokemon Sun in 2016, I completely dropped the franchise. I was still keeping up with new game releases, I just never really played another Pokemon game after Sun and Moon. But according to some of my friends, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are a lot better than the base game. So that's what I'm trying to find out. Can Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon convince me that Game Freak aren't a bunch of losers? The game starts off like a typical Pokemon game. You're a new kid in a new city and you gotta stop the end of the world with a little fella. This time around, it's the Alola region, based off Hawaii, which is a great idea for a Pokemon region. Bro, why are you walking like that? You can choose one of these three goobers. Rowlet, who evolves into Decidueye. Litten, who evolves into Incineroar, who definitely isn't a firefighting starter. No. Wait. He really isn't a firefighting starter? But he's based off a wrestler. Fighting is like that job. Fire Dark. And Popplio, who evolves into a clown or something, I don't know. Yep. Meet Doug the Rowlet. Look how polite he looks with his little bow tie. I could just... We also meet this game's rival, How. And I'm gonna preface this by saying that I don't like friendly rivals. I enjoy a rival like Blue or Silver, you know? One that wants to beat you just as badly as you want to beat them. Let's just compare Blue and How for a quick second. How picks a starter weak to yours, just because, I guess. Blue actively picks the one strong to yours, just to spite you. And he just keeps shit-talking you every time you see him. So you start thinking to yourself, I can't lose to this guy. I've got to beat his fucking ass every time I see him. With How, it's more like, I can't lose to this guy. That'd be embarrassing. Blue always feels and is one step ahead of you. Meanwhile, How doesn't really try to get ahead of you. Can you really call this a rivalry at this point? And every time you beat him in a fight, he always says the same thing. Oh wow, you're so cool and you're what for your opponent. When you beat Blue, he was like, well, you're still a bitch. However, I gotta admit, How kinda grew on me. He's cute in a puppy kinda way. We also meet Lily. Now Lily has a character arc very similar to Trevor's from X and Y, just that we actually see her development in this game. Unlike Trevor, where we were just told that he changed, without actually showing us any of the development, except a few lines at the very end of the game. The rivals slash friends in this game are way better written than in X and Y, I can tell you that for sure. Anyways, for now we just have to save her Pokemon, Nebby. Unfortunately, the bridge breaks and we fall to our death. And that's the end of the game. Oh wait, no, the legendary Pokemon of this game, Tapu Koko, saves us. What a funky name. How's Grandpa informs us that the Guardian Pokemon very rarely shows himself. I mean, I guess we're just that cool, man. What can I tell you? I gotta admit, I don't like it when Pokemon games just glaze you like they do in this game. Like, let me prove myself first before you do tricks on it. At this point of the story, I'm just a random kid. I haven't done anything to be praised for, except put myself in danger, I guess. Oh, and these guys never stop talking. I think this is the longest intro in any Pokemon game. Well, I haven't played the new ones, so take that statement with a grain of salt. A nice change these games brought is implementing the Pokemon Ami feature more into actual gameplay. Pokemon Ami was this cool little feature in X and Y, but it didn't really serve any purpose. In these games, you can actually treat their status conditions. For example, if a Pokemon is poisoned, you can simply heal them. We move on to the trainer school, where the teacher absolutely demolishes me. I guess these games aren't as easy as X and Y? Just a quick side note, there's this gate in the trainer school that takes you into a loading screen anytime you pass through it. Good job, Game Freak.
Where's the leak, ma'am?
These people, man, always just yapping. The cosmetic aspect of this game has been greatly improved from X and Y. It was already cool in X and Y, just now we got more stuff. After getting new threads, we meet this game's villains, Team Skull. And I use the word villains very loosely here. Just look at these goobers. Goofy, villain team. Hey, look at Taurus. Why would you do any of these? Oh, can't walk here. A crab sent by God is guiding us away. At the beach, Team Skull is harassing a poor little man team. Get out of here, you rascals. Moving on to our first trial. But before that, what's a trial? Huh? Trials are just dressed up gyms. You fight 3 normal Pokemon and 1 boss Pokemon. The big difference comes in the boss Pokemon. It can call for help, summoning another Pokemon, turning the boss fight into a 2v1, making it significantly harder than any normal gym. Some of these trials legitimately took me more than 1 attempt, which is not something I can say about any gym in X and Y. In Lima's trial, we fight 3 Mexican retardes and Tuco from Breaking Bad. Afterwards, we meet Fico and Solaria, or however you call them, 2 characters that are completely irrelevant until the very end of the game. So more on them later. Or not at all, I really couldn't give less of a shit about these 2. I also caught a Noibat and called him Kenny. Let me show you the power of a captain. Opens the gate. Okay dude, whatever. Stop talking! Z-move! Z-moves are this generation's gimmick. After successfully completing a trial, you'll receive a Z-crystal, which you can use to unleash a devastating move that completely fries my PC. Now, I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball. You may have noticed from all the Dragon Ball videos. So I should find these huge blasts amazing, right? Kinda. I like Z-moves themselves, but the silly goofy dances you do before them just make them feel like a joke. Let's look at Megas for a quick second. When you Mega Evolve a Pokemon, your character presses a button and the Pokemon evolves in dramatic fashion, making the Mega feel like a really badass trump card. Meanwhile, Z-moves are just... However, Z-moves are way better balanced than Megas were. Megas were reserved for your character, Corina, Lysander and Diantha. Oh yeah, and Serena in the post-game. Z-moves are everywhere. You could be walking down the street and little Jimmy could just blast your ass. Okay, it's not that widespread, but you get the point. There are way more trainers in Sun and Moon that use Z-moves than there were trainers that use Mega Evolutions in X and Y. We move on to beat House ass, and holy shit, it's Oku Black! Oh yeah, something I haven't mentioned yet, the Rotom Pokedex. That's it, I just wanted to have it mentioned, there's really not much I could say about it. We move on to the second island where we...
Awooga! I've got a bad case of Clussy fever, and I want to make whoopee with her cushions.
We're also introduced to Gladion, who's an edgy little shit. Why is he posing like that? I don't know. Next up, Lana's trial, where you gotta beat 3 fish and 1 boss fish. And this boss fish / spider gave me some serious trouble. But that's just mainly because I'm terrible at video games. After the trial, we meet Hapu, a tiny sass machine who invites us to the Battle Royale. Battle Royale? Fortnite? Gladion enters the same Battle Royale where we... Holy shit, it's Rey Mysterio! Boyaka, boyaka. This is one night. In all seriousness though, the Battle Royale is just a 4-way battle that ends when 1 Pokemon faints. Why? I don't really care either way. I've never been a big fan of these Pokemon minigames like beauty contests and stuff. God, Gladion is so edgy. It's time for the fire trial. This time around we have to spot the difference in the different poses the Marowak take. Pretty simple and easy trial to be honest. If it wasn't for this goddamn reptile. After completing our 3rd trial, we meet Colress, a scientist or some... Who dresses like that on a tropical island? Next up, Mallow's trial, where we have to collect ingredients for her to cook us a delicious... I guess it's a meal. So... We move on to the Dimensional Research Lab, where we get our first mention of Ultra Beasts. Just a quick side note, I love Ultra Beasts. I don't know the general consensus on them since I don't spend much time in the Pokemon community, but the idea of interdimensional Pokemon that are evil, that just sounds cool, okay? How can you not love that? I think their designs also really add to their charm. These are super weird looking creatures for our standards. Since these are from a different dimension, it makes sense that they look completely foreign to us. Like, what the fuck is this, man? Are they overpowered beyond belief? I wouldn't know. I don't play competitive. I just see cool Pokemon and catch them. I think it's a neat idea. And it was actually pretty well implemented into the story. So, for once, good job Game Freak, unironically. Oh yeah, just a quick question. Are Ultra Beasts liked in the community? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Moving on to Olivia's trial. I'll be honest, I don't really know what was going on here. I was too busy staring at Olivia. We move on to the Aether Paradise, where we meet Vicky, or Wick, the only other female in this game that can rival Olivia. Man, Game Freak was really on fire when they made these women. Speaking of women, Lusamine, the head of the Aether Foundation, tells us that she wants to be a loving mother for all Pokemon. She can be my mommy anytime.
Go to horny jail.
And suddenly, out of nowhere, an Ultra Beast appears. And weirdly enough, it kinda looks like Lily. Kinda weird, right? Right, Lusamine. I just love how after beating an interdimensional demon, everybody is just like, huh, well that was weird. We also get our first mention of Necrozma, a beast that is eradicating all light in a different dimension. I wonder if that'll come up later. It's time for Sophocles' trial, where we encounter the worst nightmare of a monkey brain like me, a puzzle game. Oh god, I just don't get it. In the meantime, Kukui is harassed by Team Skull and their boss, Guzma, and my boy's theme goes so hard. Kukui is such a Chad here. He basically tells Team Skull to come at him. Not like that, you weirdos. But for some reason we're the ones fighting Guzma. Next up, Surreal's trial? Is that how you pronounce it? In any case, her trial, which is probably my favorite trial in the entire game, for one specific reason. In this trial, we have to snap pictures of ghost Pokemon and defeat them. Only that at one point, a ghost version of Acerola appears and pulls a Jordan Peele.
Get out!
Other than that, just a standard trial. That was just a really cool scene in my opinion. In the meantime, Guzma was busy stealing dogs from children, I think? So we just gotta, But that whole thing of kidnapping the dog was only a distraction to kidnap Lily. And this makes Gladion really mad. So logically, he wants to fight the player. Huh? Did I miss something? Why does he want to fight me? What did I do? They kidnapped your sister, not me. Oh yeah, these two are related, and Lusamine is their mom. So yeah, that's something. After knocking some sense into Gladion, we go and save Lily. But before that, Kahuna Nanu shows up and wants to test us. Alright dude, whatever. We go to the Aether Paradise where Lusamine is shit-talking her kids like any mom would. You don't cook, you don't clean, you're not helping with the interdimensional wormhole to horrors beyond human comprehension. It's like I'm the only one doing something in this household. Typical mom stuff, you know? Her and Guzma get sucked up by the wormhole, so I guess our job here is done? Well, that just happened. Dude, my mom just died.
That's rough, buddy.
Lusamine is a great antagonistic force in my opinion. The reason I call her an antagonistic force and not a straight up villain is because she's not a villain, at least in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. In the base game, she's a bit, yeah. Her goal in these games is simply to defeat Necrozma and protect the Pokemon in our reality, which is understandable, but risking the life of Nebby to use it as a transportation device is f***ed up, lady. Her design and the way she talks also amplify that sense of authority she gives out. Lusamine seems like a character that has her shit together. She might be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but she is bad, so I'll give her a pass. After this very traumatic experience involving her mother, Lily goes shopping. In all seriousness though, I really like Lily's character in these games. She starts off always worried and anxious, but her many failures of keeping Nebby safe, the characters around her growing, and her mom disappearing into another dimension make her realize that she needs to change. To save both her mom and Nebby, who is now in a coma, by the way, just to let you know. To wake it up, we have to get the Moon Flute from Executor Island, which, what? Regional variants are great. They're a great idea. Pokemon that evolved in a different climate should look different. Some look better than others, but all in all, they're a nice addition to these games. I didn't encounter that many regional variants, but maybe I was just unlucky. After getting the Moon Flute, it's time for the Legendary. However, after summoning Lunala, Lusamine and Guzma get shot out of a wormhole. And with them, for the first time, we see the villain of this game, Necrozma. Necrozma and Lunala have a DBZ-esque fight in the sky. Lunala ultimately loses to Necrozma and is completely taken over by it. Not only that, Necrozma summoned a bunch of Ultra Beasts to terrorize the Alola region. This scenario gives off an incredibly tense feeling, like the world's about to end. I really like Necrozma as the villain of this game. Pokemon themselves are never portrayed to be evil, it's more so the humans that misuse them that are evil. In Necrozma's case, the two astronaut-looking guys inform us that it's gone out of control. And if we don't stop it right now, it'll completely wipe out all life on the planet, which I think will be pretty bad for the economy. I'm not sure though. On the back of Solgaleo, we ride to hold on.
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis.
A dimension where Necrozma has already wiped out all light. And in pure irony, the Devourer of Light transforms into a being made of light. And it's time for our final battle. Huh, okay, no big deal, we can just... Oh, I mean, I guess we could... Oh, come on! Needless to say, I got wrecked, okay? But don't worry, I got an idea. In defeating Necrozma, we essentially accomplished Lucamine's goal. So now she can just go back to being a normal mom. As for Guzma, he'll try to be a good guy. With all that said and done, we end the main story with a beautiful cutscene. All that's left is the last trial, in which we have to face all the captains we have fought before it, defeat the totem Pokemon, which funnily enough was the easiest one up to this point, and beat Hapu. It's a nice send-off for all the characters you have met up to this point. The trial works so effectively because of the quality of the supporting cast. Each and every one of these characters is memorable. None of them are really pushy or annoying like the cast in X and Y, where after every gym, after every big story moment, they just come up to you and be like, "Oh wow, what just happened?" With all the trials done, all that's left is the not Elite Four. Oh yeah, Gladion's still an edgy little shit, but he's our edgy little shit, okay? I like Gladion a lot more in these games than in the original. It could be because his character is so intertwined with Lucamine's, and her character is way better in these games as well, so that by association just makes Gladion better. But Gladion, he's okay in my book. I also just enjoy any story involving a family, because I'm a big family guy. Wait. Now for the Elite Four. It's a bunch of characters we have already met up to this point, so it feels more personal when you fight them. Unlike the Elite Four in X and Y, that were just a bunch of random characters that you have maybe seen and remembered from one specific cutscene. In terms of difficulty, these guys are a lot harder than the ones in X and Y. Doesn't mean they're difficult, they are okay-ish. There are some moments where they could catch you off guard, but for the most part, they're okay. Before we become the first champion of the Alola region, we have to face one last challenge. How? And we show him who's boss.
Scoreboard! Scoreboard!
And that's it. That's Pokemon Ultra Moon. I know a lot of people love the post-game of these games, but I'll cover those in a different video. If you want to see that, you know, stick around, subscribe. But I'm gonna be dead honest for a second, okay? I came into this video ready to hate on these games for 20 minutes straight. I despised Pokemon Sun and Moon when they came out. So imagine my shock when I play Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon in 2023 and thinking to myself, wow, these games are actually amazing. You know what else is amazing? You made it to the end of the video, like and subscribe, motherfucker!